step being taken in Central Florida and is a new chapter in Orlando's history. Good afternoon. My name is Molly Hughes.
My name is Blake Maycumber.
I'm Danielle Stanley.
I'm Madison Clark.
And I'm Leonardo Salazar.
The 650-acre Health and Life Sciences Park, known as Medical City, is a landmark in Orlando and a premier location for medical care, research, and education. Strategically placed and laid out, Medical City includes branches of medicine of all kinds. Factors such as economics and social aspects are strongly affected by the growth and development of Medical City, as well as surrounding areas, which includes Lake Nona. We'll first begin economics. Blake?
Thank you, Molly. Now, it's not very often that we get to witness the growth of a community and economy firsthand, but the introduction of Lake Nona's Medical City has given us just this chance. Recent investment into Lake Nona's Medical City has far surpassed $1 billion at this point, and so far it's worked out very well for the community and the city, because according to Ardwin, Laughlin, and more economics, Orlando is expecting an influx of over 25,000 job opportunities and $7.6 billion into their economy. And as you can see by this chart from the U.S. Bureau of Labor, the rate of the rate of employment in Orange County has skyrocketed in recent years, largely in part due to the opening of recent facilities located in Medical City. Danielle?
Thank you, Blake. The investment of Medical City can not only be measured economically, but socially as well. The social aspects can be broken down into two subgroups, real and perceived. Real social impacts is anything that can be measured, obtainable data such as population. According to Margaret Deary from the CRC, a census was taken in 2015 that shows the current population of Lake Nona is 2,583 people. This population increase from previous years is due to the next evolutionary step known as Medical City. Secondly, perceived social impacts have a large impact on Lake Nona. A perceived impact is any personal view that can be contaminated by things such as social media. This very picture here was taken straight from the Orlando Medical News Center. It was captioned Gateway to the Future. It is this kind of publicity that Lake Nona Medical City needs and helps thrive to success. Now, next time you're measuring the growth of Lake Nona, Florida, remember that economics are not the only thing that come into play. Madison?
Thank you, Danielle. Majority of Orlando agrees that Lake Nona's medical investment not only has evolved the Lake Nona area, but also the Central Florida area. However, many people argue that Lake Nona's Medical City is harmful to Florida's environment. While building, Medical City has taken up over 850 acres of Florida's natural land. According to NASA's environmental research on Florida's environment, since 2000, there has been an increase in the amount of carbon dioxide released into the Earth's atmosphere, which can further cause a tear in the ozone layer. However, with more and more trees being grown, we can expect a decrease in the amount of carbon dioxide released in Florida. Leonardo?
Thank you, Madison. With medical investments into Central Florida, such as Medical City, becoming the next new attraction for areas in Central Florida, this has caused a obvious property growth in the area. This can be seen through environmental, economic, and social aspects. Environmentally, you can see it through the change over time in the area. There used to be an area filled with grasses as far as the eye can see and forest filled with trees. But now it's been replaced with tons of buildings such as medical hospitals and research institutions. In economics, you can see the medical, research, and retail buildings that have taken up the area and the surrounding area. This is because of the influx of jobs that has brought money into the economy of Central Florida, such as physicians in the hospitals or residents working in the retail buildings. And finally, socially, the physicians and residents that move into Central Florida and into Medical City to take part in these jobs have to live somewhere. So apartment buildings and houses have been built to accommodate for these people. Finally, in conclusion, all the issues that face Medical City don't even compare to the innovations and development that Medical City has brought to Central Florida. Like medicine and the research that has been put into it, Lake Nona, Central Florida has no extent to how far it can develop and create innovations for the city itself and the area surrounding it. Any questions? Thank you.
You guys can clap. You can always clap before I ask the questions, that's fine. All right, let's go through and ask some questions. Leo, let's start with you because you seem so excited to talk. Can you give me any specifics of what you learned from a specific source?
Yes, of course. We, taking into account how we organized our paper, we struggled to find a counter-argument at the beginning for what possibly could have gone wrong with such an amazing place such as like Medical City. So through a lot of research, and we were able to find, as Madison said, CO2 being emitted into the air because of the construction and the pollution that it was causing. So we were able to find out how much that affected the environment.
Okay, a question like that, because I asked for a specific source. I like how you referred to Madison. That's really good if you can touch on another person's thing, so that's really good. But you needed to tell me the source that she got that from. That would have been perfect. If you would have said, Madison, when she talked about da-da-da from blah, 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 whatever this, I don't know the source. That would have been a great way, because then you tied it into a specific source.
Yeah.
So you did 85% perfect on that, okay? Just that one little thing more would have been wonderful, okay? Molly, how did you select the strategy you used to gather information?
Well, we first basically researched the question of Medical City because we really wanted to get a large understanding of what it was to make sure that we had that basis to go off of. And then, wait, what do you mean by that?
Look around. You're looking right at me.
But I'm
Make eye
addressing your question.
But eye contact with everyone. You're speaking to the audience. I just asked the question. They all want to know the answer.
Okay. Well, we researched Medical City and then got our main basis, and then we went into more of what it was contributing to our area. We found out, as Blake used in his statistics from the econometrics, he talked about the 7.6 billion coming into the economy and the 25,000 job opportunities that we're being provided with. And so we kind of mainly went off of that and what we could to see what it is providing to our community, since the question talks about how we're growing from it.
Do you remember the question that I asked you?
No.
I said,
How do we gather?
how did you select the strategies you used to gather information? So the question's about the strategies you used, not the actual gathering of information.
Wait, are there strategies?
So the strategy
On
was,
basis
there's 5 of us in the group and we each split it up and these 5 people all did this. They all researched individually, then we came together as a large group. That's the strategy you used.
Oh, well, that was our strategy, yeah.
That's why this is practice and it doesn't count for points. So it's because we're going to practice. So I won't do the follow-up for you.
Oh, gosh.
Blake, what advice would you have for others that want to research this particular topic?
I would suggest that they pick out individual aspects and research them separately, one group, one person for each aspect, and then bring them all together just like we did. Bring them together and combine them as a group together.
Okay, that's a great answer for her question. If someone else, is there like a topic that you would have them do more research in? Is there an area, like you said, an aspect? I don't know what you mean by aspect.
Well, I think it would be beneficial to look more into the counter-argument because that was
Okay.
the hardest thing to find evidence for and find a point to look at. And if you could find more evidence for the counter-argument, it would make it a lot stronger.
Why do you think the counter-argument was so hard to find for this?
There's so many benefits of Medical City, and it does so many good things that there aren't many people complaining about it, and there aren't many statistics showing that it does anything wrong to begin with. So it's hard to find something that really is a negative impact of it.
Do you think that the prices of things have priced out people from living in the Lake Nona area?
I don't think so, because the development, like Leonardo said, the development of new apartments and new living places, it provides more living for people that are coming for the new job opportunities to live.
I don't remember in your paper, I read it in someone's paper yesterday, so I can't remember who said it, but we talked about the average price of homes in Lake Nona as compared to the rest of Orange County. And it was like almost $200,000 more a home, which I'm telling you as a teacher, it prices me right out of Lake Nona. There's no way I could live here. So it's interesting that depending on what you do, because some of others papers also talked about how if you live within certain mileage of a hospital, it like extended your life. Like you'd live longer. There's data to say people that live closer to a hospital live longer because the hospital's right there. Do you have a question?
Yeah, when you asked the question, do you think that the prices of homes is practical applicant? If Blake would have just said yes, what would that have been appropriate?
No, I would have said why.
Okay.
So just don't even waste your time with the one-word answer. Go right to the why, because you know I'm going to ask why. So just go to that. That they'll negatively be affected. Your score will go down.
No, but I mean, like,
If they don't answer the question, is that
no,
what
but
you're
like even Don said yes, the person asked the question didn't say why.
Well, I would say why. So, and if I asked Blake why and he didn't give an answer, I'd be like, okay, well you just lost points because you couldn't tell me why. Do you have a question?